Welcome back, everybody. Chris Bricks here. As you can see, new shirt, new day, new sunburn. Yeah, I was out in the sun too long. And new build. But before we get to that, as usual, last week we had our Back to the Future DeLorean, which you currently see kind of flat looking because, of course, I built Back to the Future 2 style with Mr. Fusion on the back, just like my larger DeLorean over here. And TLDW, it was a great set. There's a lot of details packed into that little tiny Speed Champion, and we even compared it to the larger set to see how they actually incorporated some of the design elements from the larger one into that smaller one, which were really creative. So if you want to check it out, link below. Definitely worth your time, to see if it's something you want to add to your set. So what are we doing this week? Well, if you checked out last week's video, you saw this hint. And as you can see, there's no question of what we're doing this week. So why even waste any time? This has been sitting in my backlog for a while, and it was a gift from my wife. Even better, right? So let's bring it out. We have gotta keep it in scope here. There we go. Or frame, I should say, not scope. I work documentation, so that's just in my head, This one has been one I've been wanting to build a long time. I am part of that millennial group that went to the original Fast and the Furious when it came out in theaters. Yeah, I'm dating myself right there. And absolutely loved a lot of the series. I haven't seen all of them. I know there's like 28 of them now. But the original ones were great. And of course, this is Brian's Skyline from that, R34. And I'm also kind of a, Skyline fanboy as well. R34, of course, is probably, in my opinion, one of the best looking ones. But in second place, it's kind of a tie. I would put it between the R33, which I know does not get a lot of love. But when you see that car in person, the R33 is good looking. And some of the older generation Skylines, with their boxy looks and the headlight or the side mirrors on the hood and all that. I mean, don't get me wrong, the latest R35 is a beast for being only a twin turbo 6. And I personally actually like some of the Liberty Walk designs that they put on it. I know. That generation of car customization, long lost, and people are probably saying good riddance, but here we are. Really got on the tangent right there. So, this set. We got a little over 1,400 pieces for this set, and right now, with how much graphics were on Brian's GT-R from the movie, I am worried this is going to have 8 million stickers, so I really hope that's not the case. Like I said, whenever I look at these sets, I don't peek ahead to see what to expect. I open the box, and what I see is what you see it. That's my first time seeing it, so you kind of get my honest reaction on them. We turn around from the back, as if I don't flip it too much. And of course, NOS, because we're going to blow our manifolds as we're going down street racing. And when my wife got me this, I got kind of surprised with this set. I thought it was just a standard Technic set. I did not know that you have these little things that pop out and help it slide, so that way you can do the drift scenes from the movie. When you want to race around, I don't remember if it was Miami or wherever it was, but he's going around, before he does the bridge jump and all that stuff, and he's just sliding around, drifting. Well, there you go. It gives you the drift option. We'll test it out. We'll see how it works. Maybe it'll fly right off the table like I did with the Formula E McLaren the one time when I did the pullback test on it. But here's the car. And I believe this car even went up for auction recently in real life. Would have been an awesome buy. So, we know what it is. We know what we're building. Let's get into this box. All right. We have the bag open. Now that I'm looking, my hair looks disheveled for some reason. I don't know. Maybe that opening that box took a ton of effort that I didn't realize. But you're looking at about 8 bags worth of pieces. Of course, this is the wheel size. Not too big. It's not one of the ginormous, Technic sets, but good size. And I feel like really missed opportunity on this, right? Because Toyo Tires sponsor, well, not sponsor necessarily, but the graphics are on the car. So I thought it would have been really cool if Lego could have partnered with Toyo tires and actually had them on here. I think that would have been pretty cool. Kind of a missed opportunity. You just have your standard Lego group tire, but you know, that's me. Book is, she's a thick one. 340 pages of build, which is a good amount. And part 2, missed opportunity. You know, think with this, it looks cool. We got the Fast and Furious on the back. We got the GT-R on the front. And unfortunately, you get a full 2 pages advertising on how you can see the instructions online. You get 1 picture of the car, and then we're building. Yeah. You already made this 340 pages, right? Well, more. I'm just counting 340 for just the building part. You can't throw in some cool behind the scene shots, action shots of the cars, like after they do the stunts, or, you know, some of that stuff to really get you into it, because, you know, Lego does that very well. They do some of these books amazing, where you see these shots and you're like, holy crap, I can't wait to build that. This doesn't get you very excited. I'm more excited because I know the car, I like the Skyline, and I like the movies, you know? They're classics at this point with how long it's been since they came out originally. But missed opportunity there as well. So this is probably one of those books I will not be keeping. You know, I only keep the ones that have like those good, you know, things that grab you, the behind the scenes, especially if it's a theme set. Those are the ones I keep. This one probably will get tossed. I know some of you are screaming who keep these things like, you should hold on to it. But I probably won't. Sorry. So, last thing we got to talk about, and holy sticker Jesus, man. We got 50 stickers in this set. I understand it's a big set. And I understand that one of the speed champions we built, I think it was the Vision GT, had more than half of this for a little tiny speed champion. But man, 50. We couldn't print any of these on because you know what's going to happen with this. None of these are going to align flush. Not with this car. There's too many pieces, there's too many panels to get this to flush align. You're going to have so many gaps between the graphics, it's just going to be frustrating. For someone like me who likes to see a smooth graphic, or when you get those you know, Lego sets that you can do that to, and just that moment. Where everything aligns and it's beautiful. This ain't happening with this set. This is going to be choppy as can be, unfortunately, just because I know, just looking at the box, what the pieces are going to look like. None of them are going to sit flush. You're just going to have to center it on the piece and kind of hope for the best, which is kind of disappointing as well. But overall, it's still a Skyline build. I mean, how can you complain? It's a Fast and the Furious one, especially if you enjoy the series for what it is. You know, I do. I understand it's not cinema magnifico, but it does a good job at what it does. So we're going to get on to this. I imagine with 1,400 pieces is probably going to be at least 2 videos out of this, 2 weeks worth of build. I know, I already run them long as it is, so if I could break it into 3, we'll see. We'll see how long the bags go for, but let's quit wasting time and let's build. have it. Bag 1 is done. 36 minutes, 55 seconds, and I'm not gonna lie, this bag was a little bit of a beast. This was a fairly complex bag 1. Now, I know a lot of Technic sets, they jump right into the gearing right off the bat. That's kind of how they, usually build starting off the car. And this one definitely had a lot to it. You can see you have gearing up here. We'll see what this eventually does, because right now it's not really connected to anything. But we have the drivetrain already put together. And this is actually going to be the rear of the car, because you see, we already have the, mufflers from back in the day, the big old can mufflers on there, as well as we got the license plate, and we got a little bit of lighting on the rear bumper. So this is definitely the rear of the car. Like I said, not sure quite yet what this is going to be. I do see right here, you can kind of see it right there. This piece is right there, it goes back and forth. I wonder if that's going to be something to do with the transmission shift, because in the Stinger RS they used a very similar setup on it, and it turned out a way for it to kind of go into a high gear, low gear, and then kind of a neutral. So really curious if that's what this will end up being, some kind of shifter, which would be absolutely awesome, because I was not expecting it with this kit. And other than that, you got about 5 little teeny tiny leftover pieces. So if you don't see these kind of little pieces, check the bag, check the box, check the floor, because it's got to be somewhere, or you're missing the piece, which would really suck. But so far, rear suspension, drivetrain, rear bumper, tip of the muffler, and we're on to bag 2. So let's build. Bag 2's done. 19 minutes 6 seconds, about half the time of bag 1. So definitely a lot less pieces, but it doesn't mean it was any less complicated, because as you can see, we still added a bit of extension to our gearing. And I didn't realize how much gearing was going into this set, because look at this, you got functionality here, 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 coming all the way from the back. like you're just extending it. Well, I guess maybe this is a better view for you, but you can see you got here, you got one coming through here, then another one up top here. I mean, how many gears and drivetrain do they need for this car? But that's not the coolest part. The coolest part is you added your drifting mechanism. So you're like, drift mode, okay. The two balls come out, I know. And then your car is sliding around, look at that. Yeah. It's very interesting because, you know, you can see them, they pop in, they're like little ball bearings, but they're pretty solid. They don't feel cheap, they don't feel like hollow or anything. So I'm not sure if that's a solid piece or not, but it's pretty good quality. And another thing I like about, as you can see, there we go, you got the functionality. So that gearing that I was looking at that I was hoping was going to be transmission related is actually just for the ball bearings. So, you know, not the worst thing. I wish it would have gearing though, the functionality there, but I know this is not one of those $400 Technic sets. This is just the regular Skyline GT-R set, but pretty cool either way that they used it for that purpose there. And building that was a little bit tricky, not gonna lie. Not for the faint of heart when it comes to making sure you're looking at the right angles when you're putting this together. So take your time with this. But what I liked about bag 2 is you saw a lot of pieces you never see with Lego, at least I haven't. There was a lot of different, like this white piece, it almost looks like a flywheel or like a clutch sitting there going into it. Why they had to put it together with these two pieces, I'm not sure yet. I wonder if it'll be that aha moment later. But some very interesting pieces on this set, ones I've never seen ever used on any other set. There was multiple times that I was like, oh, that's a new piece. What? When did Lego make those pieces? Including these little holders for the ball bearings and the ball bearings themselves. So pretty cool so far. For this video, we'll probably get in one more bag, I figure, based on the time so far. Hasn't been too bad. Probably looking at around 55 minutes-ish of build time. So we could get one more in for this episode. Why not, you know? The more the merrier. So let's bust open bag 3 and get working on this build. Before we jump to the build, there are 0 leftover pieces. I definitely wanted to note that because if you're missing anything, it's definitely bag box floor because there is nothing left over from bag 2. So just be aware of that. Bag 3 is complete, just under 27 minutes, and as you can see, the most important part of the car is done. The NOS tanks. We got 3 tanks. I didn't even realize that it had 3 tanks from the movie. That is a lot of friggin' nitrous oxide to be thrown at your engine. I'm surprised it didn't blow up the second he hit anything, but it's there. And you can see it replaces the passenger side seat, so you don't have to build a seat. Now for the driver's side, we have this nice little seat. And usually I hate on LEGO with how they do their seats, especially when it isn't one of their big, super expensive sets. Like this is not as small as like the, smaller Technic cars. So it's middle range. And I actually like how they did this seat. Other seats, I give them crap because they do the bare minimum, throw a sticker on it, call it a seat. And I feel like they could do so much better, especially with how some of these parts are engineered just on this set alone. I know they can do better if they just put a little effort in it. But that's a pretty good looking seat. Sorry, I had to look at it, block the camera off. But, this is a pretty good looking seat. I like the design on it. I like the style. I like the color coordination. You got the headrest over here, which is nice. And yeah, it doesn't really move. It's not like the Stinger RS where it had full bolster movement for every body type to fit in that Porsche, but this is still a good looking one. I will give them credit. I do like this one. Maybe you don't, but I think it goes with the car, goes with the theme, goes with that era. So I really do like that. As you can see, we also got a lot more of our panels for the main sitting area on here. We also added a little bit more, which this will be the dashboard and everything. We also got more gearing still coming out to the front, of course, because we got the drivetrain to do. And other than that, also roll cage. Don't want to forget the roll cage here. You can see it extends back here. We got it up on each side. It's pretty cool seeing a roll cage in a LEGO car. I think that's neat. I think they should do that with more of their sets. Now, I haven't done a lot of their big racing ones in a long time. I'd like to get my hands, especially on Rexy, to see how the interior is, if they have a full built-out roll cage or not. Like I said, I never look at the previews or stuff to see what's actually in it. I like to just, fly by the seat of my pants and experience it live, and you guys get to see it too, because as I'm telling you this, I'm experiencing it in real time. And of course, for the handles, we got flower power, as we first saw in the Mustang Dark Horse that has a bunch of flowers built into it. This one, they utilize the flowers for the little NOS handles, which is pretty good. I like that one. And overall, that's pretty much it to bag 3. Nothing too crazy. Definitely pay attention to where things are. A couple times I had to rebuild things because I was just reading it too fast. So just take your time with it, be careful with it, and you won't run into any issues. Overall, for the first 3 bags, just under an hour and 23 minutes. So, maybe 2.5, 3 hours total. Probably more than that, but we'll see. But this will end this week's episode. We got through 3 bags. I don't want to I already run my videos long form on you guys as it is, and I don't need it to be extra long form. So we'll stop at the 3 bags, and hopefully next week we can get bags 4 through 8 knocked out, maybe in the same amount of time. We'll see what it involves and how detailed it is. I know the other 85,000 stickers that we have left are going to take some time and alignment and stuff, but can't wait to get this car done. Can't wait to see it do its drift right off the table probably, but it's going to be awesome. So if these are the kind of things you like to see car builds. Sometimes I do shuttles. Sometimes I do off the bat things like Game Boy that everybody hates. But, this is all about having fun. LEGO creativity, the building experience, that's what block building is about, whether it's LEGO, Nifilas, I have no clue how to pronounce it, or any of the other block brands that I've built on this channel. And after this one, we got a new block brand as well. Very basic model, by no means a way to judge this brand, but I had to build it, and you'll see why in a couple weeks. But, if this is your kind of thing, go ahead and hit that subscribe down there, hit the bell, leave a comment. I always try to reply to comments as quick as I can. We're getting close. We're at 56 followers or subs as of today, which is awesome. Because not too long ago, I felt like I was just saying 50 and 56 already. For a small-time channel, that is awesome. I'm not going to downplay that whatsoever. And also, if you're on Instagram, come check me out. Hit me up. Shoot me a message. Come follow. You know, we're at 580 some followers on that, which is pretty awesome as well. You know, the LEGO community is really awesome, you know, really supportive. A lot of amazing people out there, content creators, builds, and, you know, you just got to check them all out. And that's how you kind of do. You follow someone and you find someone else. It's pretty awesome. So I'll leave you off with this. I hope you have a great week and keep on building.